Okay, my normal indicator that tells me I'm recording is not firing up. That's weird. I will assume that it is working. And I guess when I play it back, we will find out if I've got a nice recording or I've been talking to myself. So with that, welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis. And we are focusing, it's almost like an Enchantment Saga tribal. And let's see, let's do a scry 2. And I don't think we'll take that right now. We will activate the ability and gain 2 life. Just speed on through things with Satsuki. Satsuki's a legendary human druid. You can put a lore counter on each saga you control, but only as a sorcery. So there goes my 2 life. But I get my 2/2 first striker real quick. Next, Restoration of Agajo. Let's go get another land. We will put it into play. We will activate Satsuki again. We can discard this puppy, bring it into play, and we get to scry 2. Let's see, I do need a swamp, don't I? I need a black mana source. So we'll do that. And they've got 3 colors at least, but they didn't want to hold on to Anawara. And got rid of an extra Sten, who's legendary, and a fungus. Alright, let's go ahead and force you to do some stuff, like sacrifice a creature. Flood's relatively worthless, right? That's what I thought. Next, activate Satsuki. Both of those trigger. You're going to sacrifice Sten or lose a card this time. I like the way this order came up because they already had to make some choices on what they were going to lose. And they've got a repair and recharge deck. And it's not working out for them yet because they lost one of the repair and recharge cards. So I've got to be careful because if I make them discard stuff, they might discard a Portal to Phyrexia and bring it back with repair and recharge later, right? Let's see. Let's push our luck. Activate again. They like whatever they've got left. 7 points of damage in 1 turn. Not too shabby. And Animus gets the number of creatures in their graveyard. And their deck looks like it's kind of built a little bit around filling up their graveyard. So let's see if he adds more creatures. He did. Oh, that's just lovely. My opponent's going to rage quit. He destroyed one. Yeah, we'll go get another land. Why not? Yep, rage quit. Yeah, sometimes when you do 3 of the exact same threat in a row, people get irritated. Alright, let's go ahead and show you the entire deck. It's sort of like Enchantment Saga Tribal. I made it earlier, before Brothers War was out. But it's called SagaSaga. Because I have a bunch of sagas in here. And I've only added one card to make it 62. I added Calamity's Wake from Brothers War precisely so that we could exile graveyards when we want to. You wouldn't normally think we would want to do that because when Long Reach of Night turns into Animus of Night's Reach, it gets +X to its strength, where X is the number of creatures in defending player's graveyard. But so this is sort of like an emergency card in case they get that Portal to Phyrexia down, throw it in the graveyard and they're about to bring it back, that kind of thing. Just because there's a lot of graveyard recursion, and I use Portal to Phyrexia as the biggest example, but there's all sorts of disgusting cards that can come back from the graveyard straight to the battlefield and have a game-turning effect. So this is my get-out-of-jail-free card for that. So going through the rest of the deck, we've got 4 Eras of Enlightenment. We can scry 2, gain 2 life, and then we get a 2/2 for a striker. Machiko's Reign of Truth, just one copy of that, which... if I'm willing to change anything, I'm willing to ditch some Azusa's Many Journeys and maybe put in more Machiko's Reign of Truth. And I'm actually going to try that out now because sometimes I don't want Azusa's Many Journeys. I've talked in other videos, I think, about how this card doesn't work for me a lot of times as far as Chapter 1. And I really like the Enchantment Sagas being good on every chapter. And yeah, I've got a better track record lately with it. But... let's try adding in more Machiko's Reign of Truth for a change. We've got 1 life of Toshiro Umezawa. This gets rid of 1/1 creatures or pumps up your own creatures, or you can gain 2 life for the first 2 chapters. Then you get a 2/3 Human Samurai. Most people are familiar with Azusa's Many Journeys already. And Setsuki the Living Lore, I've got 2 copies of it. It's a legendary druid. And you just saw, we put a lore counter on each saga we control, so if we have 2 or 3 sagas out at a time, it's really earning its keep. When it dies, you can return a saga or enchantment creature you control to the owner's hand, or return a saga card from your graveyard to your hand. 3 Borrowed Times, that's just a regular enchantment, that's for removal. 4 copies of Noriko Yamazaki the Poet, legendary human samurai with vigilance. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast target enchantment card from your graveyard this turn. So all of these little 2-drops I would be able to cast if I attacked with Yamazaki. Or, if I had Memory of Toshiro out and he attacked while Yamazaki was out, we could also do it. We have the Fall of Lord Kanda to exile a creature opponent controls with mana value 4 or greater. This card sometimes is a dead card when my opponent's using just 1, 2, and 3 mana cards for his entire deck, which happens more often than I like to admit. 3 Restoration of Aganjo to get out our planes. This is why I can go to 62 cards, because Restoration of Aganjo, I'm always coming up with this card. I'm always getting a planes out. It's fun. We have Catilda Dunhart Martyr, which I wish I had changed that, because I don't like the... I'll do it some other time. Anyway, I don't like it when the artwork is different from everything else, but legendary creature, flying, lifelink, protection from vampires, power and toughness are equal to the number of permanents you control that are spirits and or enchantments, and everything else we put on this board is going to be enchantments pretty much. Almost everything. Braid's Fightful Return. This is one more modern saga from Dominaria United, so we have the read ahead capability. We can sacrifice a creature, make them discard. We can return a creature card from our graveyard, or we give them a choice of sacrificing a permanent. If they don't, they lose 2 life and we draw a card. Jugan Defends the Temple. Create a human monk creature token. Then we put a +1 counter on up to 2 target creatures. And then we get a flying dragon spirit that we can use to pump up other creatures we summon with our spare mana. 1 copy of Storyweave. It's an instant for 3 mana. You can either put 2 counters on a target creature you control, or you put 2 lore counters on a target saga, and the next time 1 or more enchantment creatures enters the battlefield under your control this turn, each enters with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. So if we can trigger things right with Setsuki already out, multiple enchantment sagas, and Storyweave, that would be kind of an additional bunch of counters. So we'll see if it pops up. It's rare because I only got 2 of those and only 1 of those in the deck. But it's a fun combo to look out for. We have Augur of Autumn. You can look at the top card of your library anytime, and with Coven, 3 or more creatures with different powers, you can actually play lands. Not just lands from the top of your library, but you can also cast creature spells as well. The Long Reach of Night, we saw that just now. We got all 3 copies out. I do have 4 copies, but we're running out of room in our deck. So sacrifice a creature or discard a card, and then we get Animus of Night's Reach back. One Besieger reaches skyward, which, what do I want to say? I don't have a lot of forests. I only have 2 plain basic forests. If I was willing to get my mana mixed up more, I might add in more copies. But it's mostly white enchantment sagas, so I've got 9 plains, and I've already got basic lands because I need basic plains for the restoration of a Ganjo, which I think is more important. So only 1 Besieger reaches skyward, and then Cruelty of Gix, Dominaria United, and so not a lot of Dominaria, not a lot of Brothers War, because this was made earlier, but I have adjusted it over time to add those in. And that's the deck. So that's basically the idea, is we're just going to play Enchantment Saga after Enchantment Saga, and we've got a couple of cards that synergize well with them to take advantage of them being enchantments or sagas. And we've got ways to bring them back from the graveyard and get more value out of them. It does require us to have a couple of creatures survive every now and then. So some very heavy removal decks can really give us pause at the beginning. Or if there's, you know, a control deck that's using really cheap blue enchantment, or really cheap blue counter spells, I should say. I've encountered that once where, I mean, they literally negated my Azusa, which I've never had happen before. So I have been beat by fast, cheap blue counterspell decks. Though it is kind of rare. I don't want to play Machiko right now. This is like the worst start I've ever had. Was I supposed to mulligan this? Catilda. Gross. They're going to ramp so hard. I don't have a choice now. I missed a land drop. Sure. Let's buff up our opponents, why don't we? And I missed another land drop. That's kind of like a death sentence already, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm dead. I guess we'll put that out. I need both of those. But I don't think anything can save me now. It's already too late. We'll go ahead and play it out. Curmudgeon, we'll give him a happy feeling. I don't have a board wipe in this deck, though, so they get their cheap 1/1s out, and that's going to be the death of me. If I'd only had a black mana source, I could have started picking off some of the 1/1s earlier. Now everybody gets pumped up. Do I even survive one more turn? They can just bring down more creatures. Oh, never mind. They've got another cheap 2-mana spell. Yep, the 1, 2, and 3 mana spells have it. Of course, is it turn 5 or turn 6? I lost count already of how many land drops I've missed. Yeah, I think that's a clue that when I had only 2 white mana sources and this was the cards that I had, I was supposed to mulligan that. And they're just going non-stop. Alright. I think it's pretty clear that we can't do anything there. let's play another game where Magic will let me actually have a land on time. I've played the game long enough that I know when I can go over 60 cards and when I can't. There are some deck configurations where you absolutely cannot go over 60 unless you're willing to pump a lot more mana in. But they actually change their algorithm every now and then, and they do not tell us when they've changed the algorithm. Alright, that will come down, and we're going to use it for... Where's Druid at? Druid. Because we want to use it for Satsuki first. Legendary cards, does that mean Joda? You don't control any legendary yet, so you can't add it. I don't think there are any 1-mana legendary spells other than creatures. Okay. Let's see. We will scry 2. And we like both of those. We're going to take it in that order. I'm going to do that. This can only be done as a sorcery, so I'm going to go ahead and gain 2 life right now. And if they got removal, we're willing to test the waters a couple of times just to draw off their fire, and we'll still be okay, right? Right? Okay. They're looking at Catilda. I kind of want them to get rid of 1 so that I can bring it back as a legendary enchantment aura. They can actually get 2 mana of any color they want. So using the salvage mana workers as filters to fix their mana, not a bad idea if you're playing a 5-color deck. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. That may be a mistake, but I'm going to fly over there and hit him for 2. They could already start getting soldier creature tokens at the end of this turn. Maybe we should have used borrowed time on it first, before Yamazaki? But if they kill Catilda, we can put it on Yamazaki, and suddenly it'll be flying with vigilance. I like that. We sort of have to wait for him to kill something. We've got a lot of duplication, so I'm just really not afraid of removal. I'm almost asking for removal at this point. They could have a counterspell. They have the mana to cast it if they want. They've got something that's holding up priority constantly anyway. Excellent. Attack you. And we finally got them to do something. We know you can do other things. I can't. I can't play any of these spells right now. I am maxed out. I like that. I like that just fine. What do I want to do next? I'm not afraid. I'm attacking with Yamazaki. Do I have a buff? You don't know. Just jump block it. There you go. Good lad. Oh, are they going to do a mana worker in there? They are! Okay, we'll take out the mana worker. Here's another one. I wonder if they're having mana problems. The land is a little bit slow in coming. Everything seems slow, but it's just because my opponent's taking forever. Come on, comrade. We take this opportunity to remind you to like and subscribe to Tpull's Corner. Hey, I can do something. Sweet. Activate. Nope, don't need to discard anything. We'll attack with Catilda. 30 to 11. If they get a nice good land and have a good spell, it's not over, but I'm feeling good right now. How many cards? They just had a 60 card deck, right? Yeah. It just always seems more because they get all these soldier tokens. Ooh, that guy can get beefed up. And another card I can't use. That's funny. Thanks, Magic. If I attack alone with this, I can cast that, even though I'm going to lose Yamazaki. I am going to get to trade off something. He's probably going to sacrifice a 1/1 and block it with Aaron. He's going to block 2. Okay. We're going to take away Aaron. End the turn. That's one way to get removal back. Okay, we've got 2 more Yamazakis in the deck. Oh, thank you, kind sir. You are so nice. Aren't they nice? Vigilance, right? Yeah. Even I was thinking Yamazaki at first, but Architect of Restoration also has Vigilance. Makes for a great target. They've got to see the same thing, right? Still not attacking. There you go. Now we're looking at stuff. I can cast this, right? Yes, I can. Look at all that. Flying, lifelink, protection from vampires, and vigilance. I will attack. You're not the only one who can create tokens. Little budwaggers. Wedding Announcement is probably in the top 10 list of most commonly faced cards every day on the arena right now. This is really, really used a lot. And maybe I should take that hint and use it more in my decks. This is an enchantment-based deck, but I don't have a Wedding Announcement in there. They are definitely having trouble with mana, so I'm not sure that that was really the best example of a deck, or a game rather. But we don't feel too bad, because it just happened to us. Ruinous Vortex. We got 4 copies of that. Alright, we'll do one more. We never did get a Black Mana Source, did we? I think we've already done well at showing off Katilda and Yamazaki and Setsuki, so the legendary creatures are all taken care of. But it is an Enchantment Saga deck, mostly. It's almost all of what I got. And instead they just gave me every duplicate copy of my legendary creatures instead. So I love it when I put together a deck with a theme, and then Wizards of the Coast make sure that their automatic algorithm conspires to give me every card except the ones that I'm trying to focus on at the moment. So here's an Enchantment Saga deck. Hey, here's 3 Katildas and 2 Setsukis and 2 Yamazakis. Hello, not David. Okay, we don't have a 1 mana play. Gross. That's good for them right off the bat. And all I've got is Azusa's Many Journeys, even though I got rid of 1 copy, and here yet again, Chapter 1 doesn't do anything for me. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast. Thank you for giving me a useless spell. I should just tally up the number of times that it works for me and the number of times that it doesn't. It's really disgusting. Alright, which one do we get rid of? I feel like we need to get rid of the Smelter. Always put down Setsuki first, before any of your Enchantment Sagas. Setsuki is used very rarely. And mostly by people, it's eliminated by people who understand what it can do. Let's go 1, 2. Oh, hang on. Undo. This is as many journeys. There. I did all that. I don't have enough to do anything else. I was trying to figure out a way to get 2 of them down at once, but no matter which way I did it, it wasn't going to work. So I'm not sure it was worth bringing that back up just because I could. And these guys don't have a lot of 4 mana spells, so Fall of Lorcana might end up being a very dead card in my hand for a while. Alright, but we do have this. They'll probably just get rid of Circuit Mender so they can draw a card. No, they're willing to get rid of Scrap Welder, which gave them a way to return Artifacts card, but they just want to beat me in the face. I'm back down to 20 again. There you go. Now they sacrifice something. Gee whiz, that was fast. These guys have played the deck before. Let's get rid of Fall of Lord Kanda. Make the choice again on getting rid of a creature. Will you get rid of your 1/1? Let's do it again. They know their deck. They know this deck better than most people do. They know exactly what to do. He must play with this deck all day long. Discards a card. Alright, we'll do Restoration of Aganjo. Thin out the deck before we scry with Air of Enlightenment. I should probably take that because I need to gain some life because he's got 10 points of damage already he can do to me. We'll go ahead and attack for 3. I still don't have anything to block a flyer. I think I'm dead. I think I'm dead this turn. That was actually not too bad because this deck is usually slow and painful as we wait for them to figure out what to do. That guy knew exactly what to do. If everybody played that deck that fast, I would not complain about having to play that deck. I'm gonna go do one more. So I guess I played my removal spell too early. I should have waited for that specific card. Comparatively, I could have handled Smelter, right? Four lands this time. Wow. And no Asusa's Many Journeys. Notice that. Alright. Well, we don't have a limited amount of spells, so we'll put down the tap land. And it's a bunch of cheap 1 mana costing, 2 mana costing spells. So the race is on. Let's see what happens. I've already got all the land I need. I'm not sure how good Long Reach of Night is going to be with his zombies. I need to sort of wait on that if I can. 2 Fall of Lord Kandas. Is that a coincidence that I'm up against 1 and 2 mana spells and all he's going to do is pump up his one single 1 mana card? And I've got 2 useless spells in my hand now. Let's just read ahead. You can sacrifice something. I don't care. All I did was get more land anyway. This is like the ultimately useless hand against these guys. When I created this deck, I think I was building this in against Sheoldred, which was the flavor of the month. It looks like the flavor has changed. We are really going against 1 and 2 mana decks now, aren't we? And I think I'm dead next turn. Because all I did was flood out with 6 lands here. Alright, we finally got something we can do. Wow. We'll see if they have a disenchant. I don't have any other kind of... I guess I'll just put that down. I don't have a 5 mana play, so I didn't need to worry about Uncharted Haven. Oh, hello. I got first strike there, so that's not a problem. But a flying 4/5 creature is a problem. Well, I guess it's not. Okay, you didn't give me a useless card after all. That worked. Okay, so I should quit my griping, right? What color do I need? Green? No attacks. My life is a little low. But I'm ready for a second Liesa whenever you want. 6 mana. Now they have enough magic to cast any big creature they want, really? Like a Dreadhound, for instance. How about that? They've got a lot of stuff in there. I'm not sure why they keep bothering with that. Well, oh, this counts now, right? Whenever it dies, I'm going to lose a life. Alright. We do what we can. If they don't have removal... I mean, if they had removal, they would have taken out Hand of Enlightenment already, right? So, if they didn't just top deck removal just now, this is what we need to counter all of our life loss. That's funny. Discard a card. Here, look what we're going to discard. How do you like those potatoes? Oh, that was a bad idea. I have lifelink. Bring you down. Attack with you. Get some more life back. Just discard the Long Reach of Night because he was only going to get rid of a zombie. Those have been turned into relatively worthless cards because of this little token. So what do I care? Oh, that's fine. I don't need to cast any more spells. Thanks. Choose blockers. This one? The one with first strike? I'm just going to keep that as a possible discard. What do we want to do? We just want to attack with everybody now. You've got a choice of chump blocking with Jadar or not. See, and I was starting to debate, you know, some of these enchantment sagas, like Azusa's Many Journeys is kind of iffy for me. The Fall of Lord Khanda is kind of hit or miss. This mana value 4 or greater in the current environment is really kind of a dice roll. But it worked for us, actually, perfectly. We got 2 when we needed them for some really powerful cards when we were already low on life. Oh. I have a way to take care of that. Look what I can do. I'm just going to discard a card, if you don't mind. And we'll say good game. And we'll attack over your heads. Seemed like they might have had us. We did get just what we needed, and for a change we didn't have any problems with land. We actually had a decent game. Nobody in particular was starving for land or getting land flooded. It all worked out. Alright, let's go in and show you the deck one last time. We remind you, Travis asks that you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. So you can see the next thing I'll put out, you'll get notified. And if you halfway liked this, if you thought it was decent, if you halfway liked the deck, why don't you go ahead and click the like button. What didn't come up that much? I mean, they got rid of Augur of Autumn once when we had it. Augur can really make you eat your land drop. When you get Coven going and you can cast creature spells, it's really cool. I would like to see... I think I'm just going to hold on to the deck as long as I can. I'm going to keep playing it. I don't know if maybe I need to get rid of some of the sagas and put in more story weaves, put in more Satsukis, till we can get the combo going between those two, because it's just really rare. Didn't really see Jugan defends the Tpull yet, but all of these others, we didn't have to use Calamity's Wake, but we did have it handy when, we had the Anicold Anvil. If they didn't destroy us, they have ways to get the stuff out of the graveyard, so we had that handy. Everything else we pretty much got to see. I don't think we saw Besieger Reaches Skyward in this particular video, if I remember correctly. But that's the deck. That's what we made. Let me know if you would choose a different enchantment saga, or if you'd like to see like a different color combination for Saga Tribal. And we'll leave it there for now. This is Travis saying good night. Thanks. Have a good one.